Shakespeare coming to you live. How's everyone doing today? Happy Monday. Pretty good overnight. I'm looking right away. I wake up to a 1 minute trend, preemptive reversal. Those are two full position pips. That was 50 pips right there. And then these two half position trades, two 5 minute reversals, one long from big figure made 21, so that means it went to 65.21 and then pulled back to 65.15 and got another 6. So not bad. We'll look at all that stuff. Also, go ahead and download 2.23. Alright, so let's get on with it. Hey Simon, what's up, sir? Hey Greg. Alright, nice. Hit the growth target, Greg. Very good, man. Alright, yeah, it's me too. The first thing I did was I took out the require candle close option on the global settings, and each setup now has its own candle close option. It's a way to control risk. You know, if you have a 5 or 15 minute reversal and it breaks the low, you know as well as I do, once those stops are hit, it takes off. So that candle that breaks the low often can be a pretty big candle, especially if it's a big time frame, like the hour on a monster or a 5 or 15 minute reversal. That can be an extra 10-15 pips added to your stop right there. So for the purposes of the swing stop anyway, especially is the reason why I took this into consideration, because it's calculating your risk to reward. So if it's going to calculate your risk to reward based on a certain stop and then use a 5 or 15 minute candle close requirement for the stop, then that risk to reward is not very accurate anymore. So if you want to keep your candle close options, so you'll see here's the 1 minute trend, require candle close for stop. And they're going to come default as false. So you need to go through now and go ahead and set them to true. Everything, set them all each individually to true, or whatever you want to set it to, really. I'm running settings now with those swing stop, preemptive reversals, 5 minute reversals, etc. I'm running those also with this set to false. Okay, but the monster, for example, I set it to true, so they require candle close. Alright, so that's the first thing. Second thing is on the reversals, so the 5 minute, 15 and pre-reversal. Here's what I've done with the reversals. A few things. This is a swing stop kind of section. Here's the max size. So you can set it to 0 if you really just will take any reversal that comes your way. But this one will bypass a reversal where the swing stop is larger than whatever you set here. So a lot of people say, hey, just take any reversal and just put a 20 pip stop on it. That way you know you don't go past 20 pips. Well, yeah, that's fine, but what if you get in a reversal where the low was 25 or 30 pips lower? Well, that 20 is going to just stop you out, and you pretty much just gave the pips away because you really didn't have any support helping that trade out. You just had some arbitrary 20 pip stop, which the market knows nothing about, right? So it's going to blow right through that, chances are. It's going to go test the support level at some point, probably. So in that case, what this setting would do was if you set it to 20 and you need that extra 0, because you are referring to pips, then that means any trade that comes along, it checks the swing stop. If the swing stop, in other words, the previous low that you're going to use as a stop, I'm using a long as an example, if any of those come out, the swing stops come out to be larger than 20 pips, it will just ignore that trade and move on. Using this as your stop is not effective if you want to use the dynamics of the market. Okay, this is just kind of a, in case all hell breaks loose and something happens, this will be registered in with the broker, okay, and it will take the trade out at the most at these levels. That's why I put it at a positive risk reward. Sometimes accidents could happen in your favor also, so you might as well keep those at a positive risk reward. But this also ensures that in no case will you take more than a 50 pip hit on a trade, and that'll be logged with the broker. But down here, this is going to be a little more intelligent kind of way of filtering the trades. It won't take a trade that requires a bigger than a 20 pip stop in this case. Now, we can talk about strategy. I think the 5 minute reversals, I've got this set pretty, I got them set pretty high. I've got max swing stop set to 40. So 40 pips. Remember, I have it as a half position. So it's a half position risk factor. So, you know, accepting something with 40 pips at a half position risk factor, that's like 20 full position pips, right? So this still is a way of limiting the risk to 2%. Won't take a trade that requires more than 2% risk. And then you can also, instead of having that old requirement where I had the requirement as require positive risk reward, that's gone. That true or false is gone. Alright, I took that out. So check that, because this is the new setting. Minimum reward per risk. Think of this as how much reward you're going to take per pip of risk, per risk. It's a ratio still, but it's reward over risk. So if you want to keep it a positive risk to reward, say, in other words, where the reward is better than the risk, then you want it to be a minimum of 1. So you want to take minimum of 1 pip of reward per every pip you're risking. So for a 10 pip stop trade, swing stop, I would want to make sure my target, dynamic target, is at least the same amount, 10 pips away. If it's 10 pips, it's got to be 10 pips. If you're risking, if the swing stop comes out to be 20 pips, then the target needs to be at least 20 pips away. Now you can do 0.5, which means, look, for every 10 pips of stop, I'll take 5 pips of target in the trade. I'm cool with it because it's a high percentage trade. Or you can do 2, which is like having a 2-to-1 reward to risk ratio. So I only want for every pip, 2 pips. So if there's a 10 pip stop, it needs to be a 20 pip target, or I don't want to take the trade. I just started a settings doing 1.5. So that means if it's a 10 pip stop, I'll need 15 pips of target to enter the trade, minimum. Anything better than that's okay, acceptable. If you put these at 0, then it just ignores it. It'll take any trade that comes about. Any questions about that? Hey Jeffrey, I'm sorry, the minimum risk reward and the max swing stop size, those are only for the 5-minute reversal, for the 15-minute reversal, and the preemptive reversal. Alright, those are only for those trades. Yes, exactly. Minimum profit pips for target, Taryn. That means, so that's basically on the trends. This one is set to up here. Sorry, after 20, look for a 2. So here's a 1-minute trend we had last night. It went from 128.50, and then it went up, but it was looking for a 2-column roadblock. But it couldn't look for it till after 20. It was up 20, and it didn't find one until it was up 41 pips. That was the next 2-column roadblock. If it couldn't find one by 100, it would have just been a plus 100 trade, because that's where the absolute... We could set it higher if you want. I mean, I wouldn't expect to hit it too often. It will happen every now and then, especially if you move this number to a 3. If you look for a 3-column roadblock, those are so rare, you may never hit it. In fact, sometimes a lot of good winning trades will come back because it was really hard finding a 3-column. But you can see on Euro Yen, here's a 3-column at 21. All right, so if it hit that, it would require that kind of a roadblock to get out of the trade at all. I think that's a little too restrictive, but in a good moving market, you'll hit 100 pip trades often with that. Now, we started talking about pound dollar. We made 65 pips, full position pips overnight, which is really 75 actual pips. So that's a good night, and that's a Monday waking up. I mean, that's hard to argue with that. Let's quickly go over the trades last night. So 1-minute trend at 28.50 on pound dollar. Okay, yeah, you can see that. Okay, so 128.50, that's around here. Okay, so here we go. This was it. Nice move. How high did it go? So we got 40 on it, so that means it went up to 28.90. I'll put the crosshairs on here. It must have been around here. Yeah, right around here was the entry, or here. One of these was the entry. Okay, didn't really go very negative at all. This is the nice really move here. And that was where we got most of the move right there, because we got 40 pips. That was 40 pips, this gas. So you can see it hit something. So there was nothing on the 1 minute. There was something probably on the 5 and 15 right there. And that's what caused the push back to the 1 minute, but then was able to even give another trend. Okay, we didn't get in, but it looks like this could have been another one right here. It depends on how close. And if your near pips were enough for this to get close enough, then you would have got it in from 28.80 to technically 28. So I mean, that's another 45 pips distance it went. All right, so also Euro Aussie. Wow, nice. All right, Euro Aussie started with a 5-minute reversal long at 165. So man, so great. I love these. It went 5-minute reversal, 5-minute reversal, then preemptive reversal, short, and took it back 10 pips. So we started at 65 on Euro Aussie. It was this one. At what time? 0950. I'm going to get my crosshairs. 09, boom. So yeah, so the entry was here. I'm not sure why that went. Oh, because I guess the L1, L2 wasn't exactly crossed at this moment. Well, I guess here's the touch. There's the entry right there. It went a little negative here, but didn't obviously, did what it's supposed to do. So that was the 5-minute reversal. Alright, but then look, it got in again at 15, but for only 6 pips. Now, this is one of the ones that I probably would have not done. I didn't have the risk reward set on this one, because this has a very, in fact, we'll go back and look at the experts tab, and we'll see how big right now. Actually, the first one, it risked 28 to target 25, so it told you it was a 0.9 reward to risk, so it gave it to you, so you know how to set it. I have it set so it will accept anything right now. I have those values set to 0. They're disabled in this, so it just took the trade anyway, but it'll still give you the information. So it took a trade that had a 0.9 risk, and it paid off. So that was the first one, and it hit the 5-minute L7. All right, nice trade. All right, then here comes the next one, and it risked 43 pips to target 6.8. It got 6.2 of them, but it only had a 0.2 reward per risk. All right, so this is all in the new 2.23 version, guys. All right, so this would have been a trade I would have probably not taken, and I would have been okay without those 6 pips. I mean, that's a lot of risk. Okay, so, and then we also had one final Euro Aussie preemptive reversal, so that would be on the 1 minute preemptive reversal short. We got in at 65.25 at 12.37. Okay, you can see it. All right, we're here. So here was the expanding trend. Here was the collapse of the white zone. Here was the cross of the L1, L2. And here was the next touch. I can tell you right now, 12:35, what was the time? 12:37 was the entry. So here was the touch. There's your dynamic. Boom. That was it. And this hit the white zone right away if you had the white zone target, but it didn't make a new high and ended up going on, boom, in a roundabout way to hit the L7. Now, if you hit the white zone, that would have been a target. You would have got another entry. That was the trades on Euro Aussie. So that was a nice preemptive reversal to the L7 and further eventually.